Hello friends and welcome to this channel. In this video, we are going to use what we have learned in the previous videos on various type of charts such as bar or line and area and prepare a combination chart or combine all of them to prepare one chart so that the chart can talk to us or show what data we want to represent. So for that, I have this small table where I've shown the various periods earnings, their budget, what was the earnings in the previous year and various. So let's see what type of different type of combination charts we can prepare or we can show. So I will be starting with a very simple bar chart and then we'll work it out. So for that, I'll select the earnings column. We'll go to insert and we'll create a bar chart, right? So this is now plotted those numbers in this bar graph. I'll increase its size so that it's easier for you to see. I'll do some basic formatting. I'll delete these grid lines. I don't want them. I also don't want to show these axes. So let me just go and we'll just switch them off. We'll switch to none so that we want to see those axes, right? Let's bring in some data labels and we'll show them in the center of this bar. We'll also decrease the gap or increase the width of these bars slightly, and we'll change the color of these data labels to say white, right? So a very basic bar graph that we have prepared. So say I want to show the budget as well in this bar graph, right? So what you can do, you can just click on this chart, right click over it, and then let's click select data, and we will add the budget as well to this. So we'll select the data and we'll click OK. So because this was a bar graph, it has included that budget and placed it as another bar beside the earnings or the actual bar. But I do not want to show it this way. I want to show it as a trended line. So what you can do, you can select this bar, right click over it and go to change chart type and select any chart of your choice. So for this case, I'll choose a line. So now you can see that it is now representing the budget as a straight line and all of my earnings or actual earnings as bars. Here you can see straight away that which month my actual earning has crossed the budget or I've overachieved the budget. Let's beautify this line a little bit more. So I'll right click over it, go to format data series, and we will be inserting a marker to this. So I showed you in my previous video on line charts how you can insert markers to them. So we'll go to the marker options. Right now it's at default at none, so we'll include a marker and increase its size so that I can pinpoint that where my data is plotting. So you can see this is constant at a 110,000 because that's the number that I have kept, and you can also see that where my actual has crossed that. Now say as a reference point, I also want to show the previous year number. So for that, again, I'll right click on this chart. We'll go to select data, and this time we'll add the previous year number as well. So I'm just going to include that column over here. Then I'm going to click OK. And as you can see that it is also showing that previous year as a line chart. So it has picked up the previous chart that I had already created. So that was the budget. Now because budget is being shown as a line chart, so that's why it has picked it up by default. So there's no harm in doing it this way. I mean, it's totally on you that how you want to show your charts. But I want to include another type of chart over here, that is the area chart. So I'll just right click over this chart line that is for the previous year. I'll go to change chart type and we'll look for area. So I'll include the area, and now you can see that the gray area shows the previous year data, and a user or a client or any end user of your report can easily make out that which year was more than previous year. So you can see period 1, 2, 3 we had underachieved compared to the previous year, and period 4, 5, 6 we have overachieved. Now it's just the usual things. If you want to add them, so you can select the chart, you can go to format, and if you want to insert any elements to that, so we'll go to chart design and we can go to add chart element, and I want to add some legend at the bottom. So this will show the previous year earnings and budget. I also want to add a chart title above the chart, and let's name this chart as earnings versus budget versus previous year. Yeah, that's how you can create a combination chart. Now say I want to get a little bit more creative with my chart, and let's try to create something totally different to what we have created now. The budget and variance, so that my budget plus variance will show the earnings. So let's insert a stacked chart, and let's increase its size a little bit so that you'll be able to see that. Let's get rid of these grid lines. Okay, so now you can see that the blue charts show the budget, so that is constant, and the orange bars, they represent the variances. So 110 as a budget minus 10,000, this represents the earnings or the actual earning, right? So what I want to do, let's select these bars which represents the budget. Let's format it. So we'll go to format data series, then I'm going to select no fill so that it's all blank and I'm able to see only these variances. But before going forward, let's do one more thing. Let's move these axis values a little bit to the bottom of the chart. So let's select this and we'll go to labels, and wherever it's saying label position, we'll select next to axis, which is by default, and we are going to select low. So it's now going to show them at the bottom of the chart, right? And we can also show this as a no line so that it's clear, right? And let's also switch off this axis values over here. So I'm just going to put labels and I'm going to press none. Okay, so these now represent the variances that I have, and they are placed exactly where they should be. Now let's do one thing, we'll add data labels to them, and now we kind of have to do some manual work to move these data labels, otherwise they won't happen properly if we use the options given by Excel. and it totally depends upon your imagination how you want to represent your data. So anything that is red, I want to show it as, say, anything that is, say, negative, that is a negative variance, I want to show it as a red. So I'll individually select these charts and I'll change their color to red, and wherever it's a positive variance, I'll change the color to green. Right? So now what is happening is that the variances are being represented as red and green. So now let's see what else we can do. So these are only the variances that are coming. So let's see if we can fit in the earnings now as well over here. So I'll do a select data and we'll add the earnings chart and variance. Right, let's go ahead and click OK and see what is happening. So you can see that it's kind of overlapping them, so it's not looking quite good. So we can just change it to any other chart form we like. Right? So what this is showing now is that this is the actual data and these are showing the variances. So say I want to show it somewhere in the middle. Okay, so for that what I can do, I can change its axis from primary axis to a secondary axis. Yes, we can do that. So now this plot is appearing in the secondary axis, and what else we can do is we can toggle its value so that this chart appears to be in the middle of these variances. So let's see what we can do. Now we know our actual ranges somewhere between 75,000 to 125. So let's see if we can increase this, say, to 2 lakh 100,000, or I think that is too much. Let's change this to, so here you'll see that this is slightly like a hit and trial method. Totally depends upon how you want to show the data. Yeah, so here you can see your actual value is coming 110,000, which has having a variance of 10,000 to your budget. Here your value has increased to 115,000, where it is having a favorable variance of 5,000, right? Maybe I can bring it a little bit to the middle. Yep, now that's looking fine. And now what we can do, we can remove this axis so that it appears clean. Yep, and now let's select this chart and we'll include a marker in this by going to the marker, and we'll click the built-in markers that have already been provided. I'll increase its size a little bit, and there you can see that your chart is ready. Let's give it a data label. We'll select this and we'll place it uh, like above the chart. So now what this chart is depicting is my actual earnings. It's say like for period 1 is 100,000 and it is having a variance of 10,000 compared to budget. Then my period 2 is 115,000, and this is having a positive variance of 5,000 to my budget. Same goes with third period, where I'm achieving a figure of 75,000 and I'm having a variance of 35,000, an adverse variance, and so on. So this is another way of combining your various kind of charts. So we have combined a stacked chart with a line chart, and we are depicting the data like this. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you have learned something new today. The final suggestion that I would give on the combination charts is that picture your chart and then judicially use the charts to create the combination chart. Don't overdo it, otherwise it will be not showing what you intend to show. So give us a thumbs up if you liked this video and do subscribe us. So thank you.